Hi, my name is Clemens Schreiber, and I want to introduce you to my current research topic for my PhD. The title of my research is Automated Sustainability Compliance Checking Using Process Mining and Formal Logic. And I want to give you an idea about my approach to sustainability compliance checking. To give you an example of which kinds of regulations are related to sustainability, I have here a directive published by the European Commission. It's also called the Non-Financial Reporting Directive, and it implies sustainability concerns like environmental protection, social responsibility and treatment of employees, respect for human rights, anti-corruption and bribery, diversity, and company boards. So this shows you that it's a very versatile topic, sustainability regulation, and there are 3 steps that are required in order to ensure that there's sustainability compliance within a company. That is, first, define sustainability rules, then design sustainable business processes, and then do compliance checking. So what do we understand under compliance checking? As I said, there are a number or a variety of different rules, and those can come from different sources, such as regulations, governmental regulations and laws, policies, standards, then requirements given by a company or customers, for example, and lots of other sources. And these all result into compliance rules. And then, in order to ensure that these rules are followed, you can do forward compliance checking. There we also have, for example, compliance by design, which is a known approach to compliance. And then there is backward compliance checking, which will be the main area where I will focus my research on. Backwards compliance checking means that after the execution of a process, you then check whether this process was compliant with all the sustainability regulations or not. So this can cost a lot of effort, as this quote states. If you think compliance is expensive, try non-compliance. And this especially holds for the sustainability context. We can have high environmental costs, social costs, but also in terms of fees or fines that a company might have to pay if they break some regulations or sustainability rules. So this is a very important topic, and it's necessary to give companies some support in this area, such that they can really follow given sustainability regulations and rules. So here I want to show you the main idea of my research. I will focus on the development of a compliance engine. This compliance engine can be embedded in an information system within a company, and it takes different information sources into account. The business enterprise first needs to define business processes and sustainability constraints, which will then be checked by the compliance engine, and the compliance engine will also take context information into account. I will talk a bit more about the context later on. So this is the main idea of my compliance checking approach. What do we need for this compliance engine? At first, we need to define sustainability rules. here I want to identify usable logical languages such as LTL, linear temporal logic, and I just want to give you one simple example. Such a rule could be, for example, make sure that the purchasing process contains a market analysis which considers sustainability principles. This can then be applied to a business process. So my focus for compliance checking will be on processes, and I want to use process mining in order to automate the identification of compliance, of the compliance checking. So for the process, the defined rule, sustainability rule could state, make sure before purchasing an item that the market analysis is reported and that at least 3 alternatives for the product are considered. So here we check for the existence of the activity within a process and also the ordering of these activities. And then in the end, the compliance engine should report misconduct if this should occur, and also find solutions or give alternatives how you can improve the process such that the compliance is fulfilled. So in order to ensure that the sustainability rules are followed, we cannot simply look at the context, at the process. We also need to have a look at the context, and how this context could look like is demonstrated here by a paper from Van der Aalst and Duster from 2012. And they define, for example, the instance context, then they have the process context, social context, and other external context. So this is to demonstrate that there are different layers of information that we need to take into account for the compliance checking. Then we create an event log based on the process data and the context. And from this event log, we can then check if the process model, which we can generate by a discovery algorithm, and here we can see whether this process is compliant with the rules that we defined early on. So this could be, for example, that this execution of this process pass is not compliant, and therefore there need to be done some actions or new design of the process. So this is an overview of my research approach which I want to follow. First, I want to identify sources for general sustainability guidelines. Also exchange knowledge with domain experts to get a better idea of what sustainability regulations mean in different contexts. Then I want to work on logical representation of such sustainability rules. There exist a variety of logical languages such as LTL, CTL, formal or formal contract language. And then the goal is to integrate this formal logic languages with process mining methods. And in the end, there will be the development of a software model, as I explained to you, or as I introduced to you the compliance engine. Then there will be an evaluation of this software, and of course, and continuous development of this tool. So thank you for listening to my description of my research, and I would be very grateful for any input or ideas that I could consider during my PhD. Thank you very much.